Hey everybody, I want to tell you about the coolest vehicle I've ever had, and why it was also the weirdest vehicle I ever had. I had my very first vehicle was a 1970 Rally Sport Camaro, Chevy Camaro. Really bitchin' machine, that's the right word for it, bitchin'. I love that thing. And it was great. I ran around with it as a sports car for a while. I got it when I was about 15 years old, you know, about 6 months before I could drive, before I got my learner's permit, and really loved it. My parents would, even before I had my permit, they would take me out to the avenues out there in Mojave, in the Antelope Valley out there, and we'd practice driving. Anyway, the reason it became a very curious vehicle to me was that when I was about maybe 17, I decided that I wanted to convert it into an RV. Yeah, that's right, a really cool muscle car, you know, American muscle car, Chevy Camaro, converted into a recreational vehicle. What I did was I had these bucket seats. Well, they weren't really bucket seats, but they were really cool seats. And I took the passenger seat out to my right there, and I removed the seat from the car, and removed the seats in the back, and got my dad's circular saw, and I bought some plywood, and I made some shapes, the shape of a bed for the side here, and then I got some drawers from the Salvation Army or some thrift store and made a set of drawers back there. Got a little light. I got everything you need. All the amenities of a little RV were in there. Now I had lived part of my life in a recreational vehicle, so I knew what they needed. When I was growing up, my family and I lived in an RV and traveled around the United States and Canada for several years as wandering vagabond hippies. Anyway, so I had this thing all tricked out with the bed and everything all in there, and I would take off and in the weekends, and you know, I was living with my dad. About that time I was living with my dad down in Upland, California, and I would take off on that from my parents' divorce, and I would take off on the weekends in my muscle car turned recreational vehicle and wander around. I'd go out to the desert and out past Barstow and Baker into the desert and park it wherever, and I could go out and hike and explore and ramble about and get cut up and have a blast and come back and sit around the campfire and do that, and then I would curl up at night in my little bed in my Camaro. You know, it was really cool. I mean, it was great. It had an awesome sound system. So I'd sit in that thing and listen to Pink Floyd over and over again. My favorite was Wish You Were Here, that album. Oh my goodness. And also, of course, the Alan Parsons Project. I was into them at that time too. And listening to Late in the Night, all by myself out in the middle of nowhere in my and then when it was time to get up in the morning, you get up, fire up that big 350-inch engine, spinning dust and roaring out down the dirt roads. It was like something out of Mad Max. Those are good years. The funniest anecdote I remember from that, though, was when it came date time. I remember I met this girl who worked at a gas station. She was the girl behind the counter there that took the money. You say, "I'll have 5 on number 6," you know. And she was that girl. And I've been going down there for a long time. She was my age, and I've been going down to that place for a long time. And so, well, she was a little bit older than me, actually, about maybe a year or so older. And I asked her out, and I picked her up at her house, and brought her. I opened the door for her, and there was greeting her not a conventional seat, but a nice bed all made up with the tucked-in sheets and the pillow and everything like that. And I'm riding along on the left side over there, and she's way in the back there on my bed, trying to be comfortable. And you know, after this dude that asked her out, first thing he does is places her in a bed. Not a good start to a date, no. But I sure love that car. Have a great day, guys.